Hi, today on WOTWIP and Coffee, I am working on the painted Afghan shawl again, blanket again. And that is, see if I can get it away from the glare. That is the picture there of this blanket. I've had a couple of people ask me if it's mosaic crochet. I don't think it is. Mosaic is done a little bit differently. And this comes from this book, Reversible Afghans, by Annie's Crochet. And the reason I don't think that it's mosaic, and I will show you here, I am working on this lighter blue. This is the back of the Afghan, and this is the front. When you work it, you're actually working in the front loop, creating this, the front part of it. Then you will work in the back loop, which I am working on now with the color that you want to show through, your main color. And then when you come back for the second row with this white color, or it's cream color for me, you're going to do a single crochet through both stitches to join it. So it's not really mosaic crochet. So I just thought I would clarify that up. And it does start out with like an even number, like I chained 178, and then you single crochet in the second for the first row. So you have 177 stitches, for this. You can do it smaller, larger, but I chose to do it in the number that it is. It did call for a G hook. I am using an H hook just because I wanted it to be a little bit bigger. But yeah, that's kind of where this is at. And normally I have a stitch marker that keeps the place of the last stitch, that I worked in whatever color. And I just use it, to make sure that the color doesn't slip out and I don't have a lot of ends running out. So that's kind of where this Afghan works, the way that it works. So you're basically, you're doing 2 rows in the one color base, and then you're joining them together. So it is thick. It's a little heavier blanket, but I like the way that it's coming out. So I'm going to continue working on it. Yeah, and it uses a worsted weight. I'm sure you could go down a hook size and use a, DK weight if you wanted to with this blanket. But it's a pretty nice blanket. I am enjoying it. I'd watched Sandy's video of Crochet A yesterday, where she talked about not my monkeys, not my circus, not my monkeys. And I'm a little disappointed. How do I want to say this? I love this yarning community, and I think it does a lot of good all over. We have come together as a yarning community to provide a wheelchair for Sharon, who sadly has passed away. But we've also come together to make blankets for Boggy Creek, to do things for Wings, to do things in our own community. And hearing the news of what's going on in our community, it's not only the thing with Crystal, being swatted and the problem that she is dealing with that person. But then we also have the problem with Jennifer over at Cinnamon Stitches that she has talked about more than once about being stalked, being threatened, and now to hear that someone fairly new to this yarning community is one of the people that is going after her is upsetting. I do hope that it's not true, but I don't know. And this person has become, pretty big in the community. His channel grew pretty fast, and he seemed like a very nice guy. I'm not going to pass judgment because I have no idea if what people are saying is true or not. But I'm upset that our community is going through this. We're better than this. And, I pray that it's not true. I really do. And I don't know why people have to be so mean to try to start so much drama. It upsets me. And I'm disappointed in that. I do hope that, like I said, I hope that those rumors are false. But I guess we'll see, right? Those people that do tend to do this do it for attention. And that's sad. So yeah, it just bothers me no end. And then this morning, I hear that supposedly the hurricane forecast for this year is supposed to be a pretty active one. And that doesn't make me happy either because, everybody thinks as hurricanes just hitting Florida, that coast there. But you got to remember, we've had a lot of hurricanes that, hit down further south in the Gulf, those kind of things. So I'm praying that it is not as active as they say it's going to be. Although tornado season this year has been pretty active. And I do know that there was a big tornado the other day in Texas, and I haven't heard a whole lot about it yet. But then again, I don't watch the news. I really don't like watching the news. There is a lot of negativity that goes on, and it's a lot of ugliness. And I've reached a point in my life that I'm kind of sick of that kind of stuff, so I don't watch it as much as I used to. Like I said before, Thomas always had to have it on when we were at home, had to have the TV on. And it was either he was watching the news or we were watching Harry Potter. Don't get me wrong. I love the world of wizardry. And yes, I do love Harry Potter and the whole story. But when you watch it day in, day out, you get pretty sick of it. The same with Lord of the Rings. I loved the whole trilogy, but I was sick of watching it because those were the two things that he focused on watching. And granted, there were things that when I watched each one of them with him, I saw things I hadn't seen before. But still, it got old. Got old quickly. But that was something that Thomas loved, those storylines. And he loved watching them, loved hearing them, having them in the background, that kind of thing. So, that's fine. Keep at it. Keep doing what you want to do, So, yeah, it just got old. So I don't generally watch a lot of TV. Generally, I will watch in bits and phases, a little bit here, a little bit there. For the most part, I don't have the TV on at all, hardly. And that's been an interesting thing to see because, like I said, Thomas had to have that TV on almost all the time, with the exception of when we were sleeping at night. So yeah, it was pretty bad. You know, and you get caught up in all the drama of everything that's going on. It gets old, you don't want to listen to that anymore. So yeah. Anyway, I noticed that Billy, Crafty Floridian, had also put out another call for more squares for the blankets that she is putting together for Boggy Creek. So, if you are in the mindset of making some blocks, granny squares, she is wanting 3 different seasons. She is wanting Christmas, any kind of Christmas, red, green, blue, red and white, blue and white, green and white, blue and green, white and green, white and red, those kind of things. She is also wanting colors that are reminiscent of St. Patrick's Day, which a lot of those colors are green, yellow, orange, white, those kind of things, as well as Halloween colors, Halloween squares, those kind of things. So consider doing that as well for that. I don't know if Rose of Wings has gotten all of the dishcloths that she is looking for the 2 groups that she is collecting for. For her friend Craig that she works with, who puts them out with homeless kids. I'm assuming soap sacks, some provisions like that on a daily basis. So those are quick and easy to do as well. Not only that, but now that it's getting hot, you don't really want a big old blanket on your lap, do you? I don't mind this morning because it got a little cold in the house last night. So it feels good to have it on my lap. But, yeah. I have been working on doing things out in the yard, still cutting the bamboo. I think that's going to be a lifelong thing. I talked to some friends yesterday who had just come back into town, and they called it the river weed, and they had talked about how it took almost 5 years to get rid of theirs, So, yeah, there was that, and I was laughing because I got some manure to put down over some certain parts of the yard out there because no landscaping has been done. And then I'm putting topsoil on top of that, mixing it in, and planting some plants. So that's been rather interesting. And yeah, I have no idea if they'll survive or not. It has been years since I have done any kind of gardening whatsoever. Did a lot of container gardening when I lived in Virginia with Thomas when he was working on his PhD, simply because it also provided food for us, a little cheaper, those kind of things. But we'll see. I used to have a green thumb, although inside plants I could never keep. I generally killed those. So Thomas was in charge of the inside plants. It's just the way that we decided, to work that out because Lord knows I could kill an inside plant in less than a day if I tried really hard. I'd had a Christmas cactus that wasn't blooming, seemed like it was dying, so I was ready to toss that sucker out. And Thomas said, "No, let me work with it a little bit and let's see what we can do." Well, who knew you got to put them in the dark every once in a while? I mean, I thought I had read up on it. I didn't realize it had to be put in the dark every once in a while. He put it in the closet for about 6 weeks, brought it out, and that thing grew huge, blossomed, every year. Was beautiful. Now, yes, it did die, but the funny thing is it was growing great when our cat, Caitlin, passed away. It died the following day, which was a little odd. And then the day after that, the bonsai that Thomas had been taking care of died as well. So, and those were both plants that Caitlin tended to go over and see and talk to and rub on. So we just assumed that they were tied. And that's the reason that they all died around the same time. But yeah, interesting, isn't it, how things like that happen? And Awana is over, thank goodness. Got a little bit of a rest here from, the kiddos, that kind of thing. School hasn't finished yet here. The college has graduated, had their graduation, and now they're starting into their summer sessions. But what we're seeing a lot of here is a lot of schools are going to online education, so you don't have as many people on campus. And of course, with not as many people on campus, whatever community was a college community suffers in a bit, in a while, a little bit from that. So our community is kind of suffering a little bit because they don't have the income they used to have. So that in itself is interesting as well. But yeah, I have been working on more bags for the shop. There will be a video up later this evening about that. And but the bags probably will not be up in the shop until Saturday morning. It's going to take me a while to get them all finished up and everything. Mostly the pictures taken and then the listings written out for them. Although there's a lot you can do ahead, you can't always do everything. So yeah, it's been fun sewing with that. And Miss Izzy, she has gotten into this thing where she has to sit behind me in my chair while I'm sewing. I think she thinks she's helping, I don't know. But it's rather funny to see her. I get in the chair and I get all comfy and she jumps up right behind me like, "Okay, I'm ready, let's start sewing." And I keep telling her, "You don't know how to sew." She kind of blinks at me like, "But Mother, I am with you. I am one with you. If you're sewing, I'm sewing." So yeah, that's been a lot of fun. And then Ronan, he just cracks me up because he just comes along and then all of a sudden he'll stand up on his hind feet, looking at the back of the sewing machine, watching me sew, just watching and talking to me, every once in a while reaching a paw out, try to grab. So yeah, cats are kind of funny like that. And Izzy, like I said, has not been playing fair. She's been biting him in his balls or at least where they were when he had them. Which, I don't know, seems kind of like dirty play if you ask me. And then, of course, Ronan cries out in this high-pitched cry, which I think is what she's looking forward to seeing, hearing. I think that's the whole goal of her doing what she's doing. And, which I find interesting because Ronan is actually bigger than Izzy. Yet Izzy gets the best of him lots of times. So, or maybe he lets her get the best of him, so she thinks she's getting the best of him. Who knows with cats, right? Oh, goodness. And I see Sandy is in the new shop there with Crochet, so I do find that interesting. I do hope she does decide to sell some of the t-shirts on our Etsy shop. Mainly because a lot of us can't get to her shop. You know, it's kind of far away for us to travel all the way up to Nanaimo. But yeah. And some of those yarns that Angela of My Precious Yarnery has been dyeing up are absolutely stunning. Yeah, gorgeous. You know, our yarny community has such talent. It's amazing. You know, I always find it interesting to watch thrifts, to watch spring, to watch all the different things and to see what everyone is doing. So, yeah, I'm having fun with that. Now, with Tunisian Tuesday, you know, I had started doing the 2007 shawl along that Arnie Grabowski had done. And I am going to continue that. I will do some other stitches. So I will continue to do that to show you that. I do see where the biggest issue is most likely going to be because the way that she does the shawl, when you get into that center part that has the point and you're building up that extended knit stitch, you're going to see everything bunch up. And that's why you're going to need the cord. I would think a cord would be much better than using two straight hooks with a bull clip on each of them to hold the stitches on. I just think a swivel cord is the best way to go about that. But I am enjoying doing it. Each week I'll do a section. I don't remember how many sections there are offhand. I want to say there are 6 or 7 sections. But she had done her shawl to where it was 9 feet across wingspan and 4.5 feet tall. I don't plan on doing that many rows, so I will change those rows up. You know, as they get down into the lower rows, I'll probably do less rows. But yeah, that's way too big. You know, that's almost blanket size, especially when you're short like I am. And this is a shawl that I wanted to do a long time ago, but just never could find the right time to do it. And I decided, you know what? I just keep putting it off, and I don't know why I keep putting it off. Just do it. Just start getting it done. Otherwise, it's just going to sit there and languish, and I'll be thinking, yeah, I should start it someday. I really should start it someday. I started it, and I am enjoying it. Like I said, it is a little bit of a different process. I do have a shawl that I had written out that I've never put out there yet, that is Tunisian shawl. And then it brings in traditional crochet to build a lacy edge for it. And it's one of those shawls that you can build it as tall or as large as you want it. Not only that, but you can use a variegated yarn with it, and it and it does look stunning. That is the interesting thing about Tunisian. When you use variegated yarns, you do not get the pattern you are expecting, and sometimes it is rather amazing. And I think one of the first shawls I did, I know I used a Caron Simply Soft. Can't remember what it was that I used. Don't know if I even have still a photo of the shawl. But it was beautiful the way that it came out. Absolutely beautiful. What do you want, Mr. Ronan? Coming up for a visit? Huh? Gonna come say hello to everybody? He's over here sniffing. He likes to get into things sometimes. And he does like to sit up on my lap. Although he doesn't like me picking him up, he likes to sit on my lap and he'll just sit and purr and purr. Loves being petted. So yeah, he cracks me up when he does that. Okay, and now this is where you're building up the front piece. Actually doing it in the wrong row. Because you will do it in the front so that it shows up in the front. It's always in the front loop. I get distracted when I talk. But yeah, it's real simple. It's basically, once you get your base built, 2 double crochets and a chain 5, and then you skip 5 stitches and do that across in the front loop. All the way across to the end. You end with the 2 double crochets in the last 2 loops. So yeah, it's really simple. But, you know, it's a slow process because you are basically doing 2 rows. You know, you got to build that back row up, so it takes a little bit longer. It's not something that you can do very quickly, but I am enjoying the process. So, you know, that's quite fun to do that. And like I said, you kind of carry your yarns up along the side. There is a border at the end if you choose to put the border on. But yeah, love this blanket. Whew. Got up early this morning. Sorry about that. Izzy, past couple of days, she has been turning over her food bowl like 2 to 3 times a day. And I've gotten to the point where I'm thinking about, instead of leaving the bowl down for them to go eat whenever they want, putting the bowl. So I've always kept the food down there for him. So who knows? Have to decide. She may still win, and I just may clean up after her several times a day. Although it does get a little frustrating. And I do understand why she does it. You know, she had that insecurity of being a feral cat at one time, you know, in a colony. So, of course, her normal instinct is to cover up her food so that others wouldn't get it. And she gets a little vigorous and knocks those bowls out of the holder and spills the food. And then I thought, well, I'll just leave it on the floor. She can eat it when she wants to. That drives me nuts because I can't stand seeing it there. Plus, I walk across the floor because she's, you know, when she knocks it out of the container, spills all over the place. So I've thought about, yeah, okay, what are you going to do, Jane? Let her go? Or do something about it? Who knows? I don't know if there's an easy answer to that. I did have a friend tell me that I should get the cats an automatic feeder. I can't imagine these cats with an automatic feeder. I'm afraid that will be more hassle than it's worth. I just think that they'd be pawing at it and she'd be trying to knock it over. And she'd probably succeed because she's pretty stubborn when she wants to be. She thinks it's her domain. She can do what she wants, and sometimes she'll do things right in front of me she knows I don't like, and she'll blink at me like she's like, do something. Just do something. She doesn't like it when I do something. And generally that doing something is picking her up and putting her someplace else. Although there have been times I've thought about putting her in the crate because she's being so stubborn. I don't know if cats understand that the way dogs do or not. I don't know. Can they be crate trained? Maybe. Who knows? I have been looking at some new channels, and I find it interesting the way that some of these channels grow, and most of these are about crochet business, blogs for market prep, those kind of things. And they seem to grow really fast. And I wonder if that is simply because it is a younger crowd that is following these folks, and they are looking to do something that they want to do instead of traditional jobs. You know, who knows? Who knows what people's going through? I do know that there are quite a few people that enjoy doing fairs, craft fairs, vending, that kind of thing, going to different markets. I've gone to markets in the past. I've never really been thrilled doing a market, although they're okay, you know. But I think there are certain people that have a talent to sell. you know, and they're good at it. I don't think I'm good at it. And I'll tell you, I get annoyed when someone wants to bargain with me about something I've crocheted, spent many hours working on, and they want it for practically free, you know? I mean, granted, there are some amigurumi that don't take long to make at all, but there are some that take much longer to work at, and so I think you should be willing to give fair value, you know? And I have been here locally, I've been at markets where I've thought that they have severely overpriced their goods. I think I told you about the craft fair that my friend and I had gone to, and the woman crochets scarves with blanket yarn, and she charges $40 for them. I think that's excessive. But, you know, because I know using blanket yarn, it takes a little less time to actually crochet a scarf. You know, it's not like when you crochet one with worsted weight, take you a couple of days to do sometimes. You know, depending on how much time you have available to do the crochet. But yeah, I think that's a bit excessive for the price. Now the blankets I can understand because there is more yarn in those blankets. But yeah, just find it interesting the way that she charges for the scarves that she's made. And now I'm starting on that background with the blue again. I think I have enough to do. Yeah, I have enough to do a couple more rows of it before I need to change to the darker blue again. So yeah, then when you're building the back part, you're just doing it in the back loop. You know, double crochets all the way across. See? Pretty easy blanket. And no, it's not mosaic crochet. And now, this blanket, they did add fringe. I'm not adding fringe. I am not a fan of fringe. I don't know if you guys are not. But I do not like fringe whatsoever. And sometimes I wonder if it's because of my trauma with a fringe pom-pom. You know, it was just a big thing of fringe. We'd gone to a pet store one time. There was a monkey in the pet store. I had my little hat on. My mother had knitted for me. It had the little fringe pom-pom on it. Monkey grabbed that, yanked me back, and ripped off that fringe pom-pom. Terrified me. So maybe that's why I don't like fringe, is I was terrorized by a monkey as a child. Yep, you never know, folks. All right, folks, I think I have gone on long enough. Be sure and tell me what you're working on today. I hope that you guys are having a great spring into summer. We're almost into summer. You know, we're still in spring. Summer doesn't officially start till what, June 21st. But you know, temperatures are finally getting warmer. I hope the weather is good where you're at. And I hope that you're having a good time crocheting. And, you know, let's try to put a little more positivity out there. And I hope that whatever is going on in the YouTube streets and out in the yarning community that is negative stops soon. All right, guys, I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.